The fallen leaves tell a story of a tarnished who became Elden Lord. He explored the entirety of the lands between, both above and below, rid it of every foul creature that offended his senses, and also offered an achievement. When finally he sat upon the Elden Throne, his only thoughts were,
"Man, I should start a new game plus so I can kill that dung eater again."
And so he killed that hated fecal feaster again and again. Sent jellyfish to space. Then he finally settled down, married a real classy doll, became simp consort of the universe, and they lived happily ever after.
Howdy folks, I'm Ryan, welcome to Deconstructing the Game, and we are finally ready to do what we do best here with Elden Ring. Let's get to it. I want to start by thanking everyone for being patient with us. Elden Ring is a huge game, there's a lot of content in it, and before I can really responsibly speculate on what are potential Easter eggs, cut content, and future DLC areas, it really helps to have spent a lot of time with the game so you can tell it's not just an area from a quest you haven't found yet. So now that I've been able to spend, well, the probably unhealthy amount of the last month playing Elden Ring, I'm pretty sure I've done just about every quest, and I've seen just about everything the game has to offer in my multiple playthroughs. I'm ready to look at just the first and most major so far of some of the things that I think could be added to the game in the future or were potentially cut from it during development. Spoilers and speculation on future content contained in this video, so be warned if that's something you're concerned about. Anyone who's explored all of Elden Ring's map has probably wondered about the locked Coliseums. There's one located in each of the game's major regions, and all of them have huge doors that can't be interacted with. Thanks to Otis Inf's camera mod, I was able to explore these areas. Now, you do have to join his Patreon in order to download his camera mod, so I'm, not necessarily advertising for him here, but I did find it a lot easier than using no-clip or other methods because there's a lot of collision missing out of bounds, and so you spend a lot of time falling to your death using things like cheats trying to put your actual character model out here. So I did find it to be a much easier way to explore. Thank you Otis Inf for creating these tools. More info in the description. The lower areas of the Coliseums are fairly low detail and mostly just lead up to the floor of the Coliseum. The elevators were not functional, and there's a lot of collision missing in here again. But the interesting part is the Coliseum itself. Now, like a lot of other folks, I do speculate that this is going to be part of some sort of battle mode that was either removed or is going to be added at a later time. But what I found really interesting about these is the scale of them, and especially how much seating is put in for spectators. I think it would be really interesting even if they can only get 4 players actually participating at once in a multiplayer bout, if it were possible for a lot more of us to sit as spectators up in the audience and watch these fights going on. I think that would be really pretty cool, so if that is something that gets added in the future, I would be pretty into that. I also think it would be cool if players were able to fight monsters or groups of monsters to kind of make it like those boss versus boss things that people make videos of where they put different AI against each other. If we were all able to sit around and watch stuff like that, I think that would be really entertaining, so here's hoping that's something that's added to the game in the future. Another area that really stands out once you've explored the entire map is how this cloud happens to cover the spot right in the middle of the circle formed by the Divine Towers. So I had to go take a look at that. I wish I could tell you I found a whole island full of secret content waiting to be explored, but what I did find is almost as interesting if you're used to picking apart games. If you've followed our Cyberpunk content, you're probably familiar with these big square holes in the map where there is a piece of terrain that's not loaded. So this is what you find when you go to a location when it's not loaded in, is a big hole in the base terrain. This doesn't tell us anything about what was here, but it does tell us that something was very likely here in the past or is going to be added in the future. Now, I don't have much more to speculate on this at the moment, but I'm going to be very interested in the future to see what happens with the area covered by this cloud. That's all I've got for now. I've got a lot more stuff I want to talk about in the future, but this is all that's ready for the press at this moment. Mike's going to be back from his vacation soon, and he's going to be playing more on Xbox and hopefully finding some ways to get into areas you're not supposed to be in, using nothing but the controller. So look forward to more content on Elden Ring, also more Cyberpunk content, and there are a number of other exciting games we're looking forward to this year. Thanks for watching. I'm Ryan. This is Deconstructing the Game.